go. And here it is. Uh-oh. Okay, so I'm gonna stop talking and whoever kind of wants to get started for you guys, I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys introduce yourselves and go from there.
Yeah, you want to hop to the next screen? Yeah, so these are the four of us. I'm Sarah. My picture's in the upper right. I am a mom of 4 and got into the test group, I guess we all did, with being a success starter. And then Renee's picture down at the bottom, she's on a trip with her husband. Ashley and Jenny, you want to introduce yourself?
I'm Ashley. Yes, I got into this group as well for being a success starter. So that was really exciting. Not something I thought I'd be able to earn so soon, but I did.
Jenny, I don't think you're unmuted.
Am I good now? Let's try that again. Hi, everyone. I'm Jenny Coles. I joined Beachbody in April of 2021 after I was cleared to work out after having my 4th baby. I was very hesitant about the whole coaching aspect for so long, but decided to dive into it at the end of October of 2021. My first 3 months of coaching, I helped at least 3 people get started on their health and fitness journey. And then that's how I received this opportunity with Success Starter. So at the end of January of 2022, I completed my 3rd month and got this opportunity with Fire and Flow.
Yeah, and if you want to hop to the next slide, she asked us, Success Starter. I think most of us know it's if you hit Success Club 3 times out of your first 6 months. As far as tips, I didn't quite know what to put for that. I don't know if you guys have any good tips for that. I feel like I hit up all those people that you know and love and want to support you. So a lot of those and a few reconnects. Those are my favorite. The people from like high school and college that see what you're doing and you get to reconnect with them.
My tips would be just sharing your story. Personally, for me, I just really put myself out there. I do have a big weight loss journey, so sharing those vulnerable pictures really brought people in. I was scared to death to do it, but as soon as I did, it's like I got like overflowed love in my messages. It was awesome.
Ashley, can I ask like how you got over that? Because I feel like, I mean, I know you joined November, December, and like I feel like you've just been posting
August.
Oh, August. Why did I think it was that?
I think it was like the end of August, like beginning of September.
Gotcha.
It might have even been the last day of August, honestly.
But I just feel like you've just been so boldly sharing your story. What made it like click for you, or how did you get over that fear?
Don't hate me, Brooke, but it's because Brooke basically told me post it. Because I messaged her, I'm like, I have these before and after pictures, but I don't want to do it because I'm embarrassed by my stomach. And she's like, just do it. I'm like, okay, I'll do it. And I haven't stopped because seriously, the second I did it, it was non-stop messaging and people just saying you're inspiring. And I'm still following up with some of those people that are just like mind blown by it, but they're not really ready yet. I mean, it took Brooke 3 years, I think, to get me to join. You guys will actually see, I was just sharing in our group a picture tomorrow. I'm posting a before and after picture of me so far. And then 3 years ago when Brooke was actually messaging me for the first time.
Sorry about that. Oh, that's cool. That's awesome. Like, oh, yeah, I love that. It's like, hey, Brooke said do it and you just did it. Like, no overthinking. I'm just going to do it. And you were met with so much love. That's cool.
Yes, it was awesome. I think I only had one negative comment and I just blocked them right away.
Jenny, did you give your tips?
So my tips would be kind of like the other girls. It's just really about sharing. So for me personally, I feel like I'm a really big introvert. So it's hard. It was in the beginning, it was hard for me to actually get on social media and share the scary things that you needed to share. But you kind of have to take it mind over matter and get out of your own head and just do it. And like Ashley was saying, like, no matter about any negative comments or any negative stuff, like you just put that aside and just know what you're doing is not only helping yourself, but showing other people, you know, that they can do this too. And it's not just you, but you have to be that person to step out of the comfort zone, which we all have our comfort zones, but you got to step out of it and just be willing to do it.
Okay, I want to ask one more question on this and I know we can move on. Okay, if a brand new coach signed up with you today and they're like, hey, I want to hit Success Starter, what should I do? What would you say?
I mean, what they said, share openly as much as you feel comfortable. Because, you know, I mean, for every one, because I used to get up in my head about this, like I didn't want, you know, it was very much a, like, things happen behind closed doors kind of thing, and not wanting, you know, people to judge whatever. And yeah, for every one person that may criticize or a hater, you know, you have 5 others that are like, you know, what you're doing is helping. So just try and focus on that part to get over that hump of getting started.
Another thing I do is I always like prejudge that somebody's not going to be interested. Like if I know them personally, you know, they don't have a lot of money or something. So one thing I've let go of is not deciding for people and letting them decide for themselves. I have no right to say what they can and can't afford. I actually did that a lot when I was a hairdresser as well, like trying to sell products and stuff. I shouldn't be guessing what they can afford for the shampoo and conditioner. It's not my decision. So being able to just be bold and actually ask the question that you already are expecting to know from, and you might get surprised.
My thing would be, I mean, first, I think all of us go through the people that we know the closest. So like family and friends. And as starting as a new coach, I mean, those are the first people I went to. And then once realizing how to use social media and go back through the list of people, I think a big thing is to make a list of people who like your reels or your stories. And then after you've gone through your list of family, you go through those people who are just friends who you don't really talk too much, but they've watched your stories or liked your reels, and then you just keep trying to reconnect.
Love it. All right. Oh, you guys want me to go to the next one? That's great. All things that you never stop doing. I'm like, oh, all those things I did today. It never gets old.
This one I took directly off of the back office, just so people would know the dates. But this is when it's, you know, we get all the good information on Champions page, and then she talked about May 24th and then June 7th for everybody. I like that preferred customers and coaches get to start earlier with this one. I don't know what the challenge promotion is. I don't know if it's just the, like, if you complete it and submit, you get the t-shirt, or if it's something more than that. But and then December, I was thinking ahead to December. I think this will be a really good one to kind of relaunch when you're coming into the new year, because this is a really good, I mean, we'll talk about it more later, but it hits a lot of different people, and it'd be a really good, like, starting over the year and self-care and lots of different things we'll get into.
I was going to say too, I know we were talking about maybe like one Saturday morning in May, maybe like May 21st, whatever that Saturday morning right before it launches, if like we like as a whole team got on Zoom, invited customers, potential like people who might want to do this, and we all just did the sample workout together and tried it all out and all just giving them the feel of what it's all about. But if like always when you do a sample workout too, share it, like share the heck out of it, like how you felt during it, what was your favorite move, like share in your stories, make a post, and like tell people like I can send you this link for free. I would not put the link right in your stories because you want to have that interaction with them. A lot of people might just go do it and you'll never even know. So just a few of those reminders. And now we learned this with Job One, they are rolling out kind of like Sarah just said, when a program gets early access, it used to be like it would come out on BOD 3 months later. So at least I was expecting Job One to come out like March and April, and it does not come out until June. So I think even though I did push Job One really hard then, I think I'll push use that as leverage now. Like, hey guys, if you want to do this, it's not coming out to the library until December, like really until 2023. So get on this now. Even if you're a current customer, you are going to have FOMO, you're going to miss out. So I think it's just one way that we can leverage this even more for everyone to join in, even if they don't want to do it like with us right now when it comes out. It's like, hey, maybe later in July or August or September, you're going to want to do it and you can get it at a discount now. So anything else you had for this page?
The only thing, Brooke, I would be curious on your opinion. The one thing I was a little bit bummed about is the fact that Job One is coming to the BOD versus early access in June, as well as when Fire and Flow, because I feel like those two programs are going to have a lot of the same clientele. So as far as like drawing people in, because I could see using both of those to focus drawing in customers. So like if I knew that I'm getting Job One finally, maybe, and I didn't pay for it before, why would I want to pay for this new program? You know what I mean?
I think it's just kind of what they know, right? Like, or what you talk about, or at least I just think of a lot of my customers. Like, I might not even say to everyone like, hey, Job One's coming out this month. Like, I'm only going to be talking about Fire and Flow because that's what I'm doing. And that's like what my groups are. If you've had, like, I've had a few girls who have been like waiting for Job One to come out. So I'll make sure they know, but I don't know. And maybe other people might do things differently, but I'm all just going to be all Fire and Flow. And then just go from there. So I don't know if that.
So just maybe not wait to talk about Job One till like June or whatever.
And usually
July,
I'm not someone, I like when someone's like a program would come out on BOD anyways, after it had early access, I'm not usually like, oh, hey, like, let's get up is in the BOD library now. Like, it just kind of appears in the BOD library and people see it. And if they want to do it, they do it. I don't know. If you want to make it a big deal that Job One is out now and people do it, then like if I were to lead a Job One group in June, then maybe make it a big deal. But since I'm not probably even going to talk about it, except to the girls who have been waiting for it. And they know the date. They know it comes out June 13th because I've told them. So, all right, the details.
Yeah, workouts 25 to 30 minutes, 6 days a week. I know in the past I've been a little intimidated by the programs that are 6 days, but because of the way it's designed, it was not bad at all. They alternate between Fire and Flow days. And so Fire days, if you do it like as the start of the week, Monday is upper body Fire, Tuesday is mobility flow, and then Wednesday lower body Fire, Thursday functional flow, Friday cardio Fire, which I love to like hit it hard before the weekend. And then Saturday is restorative flow. So it's nice that it's, it's never easy. I went into it thinking yoga and like, oh, a piece of cake, and no. But yeah, and the journal, I love the journal. I don't know if I can, this is just what we just got it as a PDF to print out. But I liked that it had like a check-in, like how you feel today, and it had like a to-do list, but then it also has like what I'm grateful for, and then on the back is like a self-care prompt. So for me, like if it was just the self-care prompt, I probably wouldn't check in that often. But the fact that they gave me a to-do list, I'm all about making my list every day. It made me do it more, but they'll have it put together for when people buy the program. And then we haven't seen these yet, but just from the back office, they said they're also going to have 4 extra fire and 4 flow bonus workouts. And I think there's a ride for each of them too. Ashley or Jenny, do you have anything?
Yes. So for me, my family got really sick halfway through this test group. So I was only able to do workouts for the first 2 weeks. And then the last 2 weeks, it was like hit or miss whenever everyone was feeling good. But for me, I really enjoyed these workouts. So like she said, it's 6 days a week from alternating from fire and flow. And then like they go into it where, you know, like she was saying, flow, you're thinking it's just yoga and it's going to be easy, and it's not. I mean, if anyone's done a workout with Elise, you know. And the journal part of it like was my favorite, because not only do you get to read something super uplifting before you start your workout, but they actually kind of incorporate it into the workouts too. Like they'll remind you like, oh yes, today we went over self-care, or we went over taking out the positive or the negative attributes in life. And like they talk about it during the workouts, which was also really nice. The one thing I do have to say is like, so I know for some people, I'm more of a strength training, like that's what I like to do, and yoga and stuff like that's not really my cup of tea. But with this program, it's fun to let people know, like, even though that's not something you're comfortable with, you got to step out of your comfort zone and try it, because I'm so glad I did, because it was absolutely amazing.
I would love to add to that last part. I was like, I don't want to do yoga. Like, I want to gain muscle. And well, that's exactly what it is. And the amount of balance and flexibility I gained from this was crazy. And then also, I don't know if you guys felt this too, but I seriously felt like my upper body was like crazy strong after this. The first like 2 weeks, I actually was getting headaches after upper body because I was so weak in the upper part of me. And you can probably see from my photos too, you could totally see like the gains in my arms and my back. And I thought I had strong arms because of the 3 kids, but I guess not. So that was probably something that I took away from it the most, was being able to see my gains and actually feel like I was doing something, because I was actually stuck between 204 and 199 for 3 months. And then starting this, down 10 pounds and 11 and a half inches. Like, that was awesome. And one thing they do talk about a lot in this program is that they designed it so that you do not plateau, which I thought was really cool. So that's definitely something that makes me want to continuously do it. I did start doing it round 2, and then I'm not gonna lie, last week I just like totally fell off. So now I'm probably gonna have to wait for it to come out again, because they're taking it down on the 9th. But I will totally be doing this over and over and over again, because that's how much I loved it. I loved it more than job 1. Yeah, like big time. And it does not feel like 30 minutes. They
No,
fly
it goes so
by.
fast.
It literally, I felt like when I did 21 Day Fix, I just felt like they dragged on for 30 minutes. And this one, I felt like it was shorter than job 1. But you come out like drenched. Like, you literally sweat so freaking much from both fire and flow. It's crazy.
Brooke asked how the cardio workouts compared to lit cardio. I've never done lit cardio, but I can tell you the cardio fire days. She sets it up as ladders. I just did that one this morning because I missed it last week. But so it's set up kind of like HIIT, where it's like you do 20 seconds of a hard exercise, and then 40 seconds of like a moderate exercise, and then 60 seconds of one that you can get through, but you got to get through it for 60 seconds, and then back to 40, back to 20. does a little like filler and then does a second set. So I liked, you compared it kind of to job one, that it was in chunks. For me, that's what makes things go
Yes.
fast. Is like on all the fire days, it was all in like these blocks. So I made it go fast. The next one, if you go to the next one, this is still about it, but in the test group, they had other coaches come on like once a week and give us little tidbits on, how do you share without being scared to share too much and all this. And the one, I just included this because it really struck a chord with me as far as sharing it when it launches too, and wanted to pass it on, is she talks about, kind of like we had pillars with Beachbody, what are the pillars of this program? And to start talking about those leading up to it. And so Ashley and Jenny, I don't know if you have other ones to add. The pillars that I came up with were the empower, balance, mobility, restorative, functional, strength, self-care. And the second one was just silly, that I like all the moves. Like there's one she does where I felt like I was swinging a baseball bat, and like she even in the interview, I know the Fit and Fierce has a call with them tomorrow night, but they did one in the test group as well, Elise and Jericho. And she talked about Star Wars. Like she purposely would have some of them be like Jedis. And one of the moves, like I kept feeling like I was doing the Carlton, or like she even refers to like the Cabbage Patch in one of them. So for me, a big part of it was just, not only wanting to dive in because it was a test group, but I felt like even the stuff that in the past would have been like, what am I doing? Because I'm not coordinated at all. I just kind of leaned in and got goofy with it. And I felt like the yoga Pilates bar was definitely an influence, but it's not, I would stress it is not yoga. One of the things I had later on, as far as like why we love it, is I feel like as a selling point, it's going to be so good that it reaches so many people, because you'll have the people that like yoga, but maybe, or like do the bar classes and need to want to push themselves a little bit more, or maybe they need that and don't know how to incorporate both. Or the other end, people that really push themselves and need to slow down. So I think you can go both angles with that. I don't know if there's other pillars you guys thought or influences.
I just really liked that she talked about, Elise did mostly, about like, she was really open about her anxiety and like how to connect with yourself. And I'm personally going through postpartum depression. So it was like a lot of the days she hit me right where I needed her to hit me on those days. They both really like hype you up. And it's just motivating. I loved it. And then kind of what she said too about having like those hardcore days and then switching over to the flow days, it actually like stops you and makes you listen to your body and learn how to like replenish yourself for the next day for another harder workout. So I really liked that balance of not over pushing yourself and just being able to like really just listen to your body and your muscles.
Yeah, so for me, there's like, so the trainers make you feel like you're number one and that you can accomplish anything. So with them incorporating those journal entries into the workout and like really just speaking, it feels like they're speaking to you personally. And no matter what you're going through in life, like I feel like every day I could find something that connected whatever they were saying into something in my life. And then I'm not really sure about like the pillars or the influences, like Sarah was saying. Just the one thing for me that I noticed during the program was that like each week, it seemed like you had similar moves, but they just got a little bit more challenging, which wasn't bad, but it felt, because as you were going through the weeks, it felt like you were stronger and able to test yourself a little bit further, which is kind of what they try to get you to do.
I loved that.
Results, these are the pictures. I can post these, if people want to use them on the team page, but I know for me, yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say the next one is more where I want to talk. I don't know if Ashley and Jenny, you want
to ask
or Ashley,
what products did you guys use, or would you recommend using?
I actually
fire
bought
days I did.
Recovery.
Oh yeah.
I had to.
Yeah, I used Energize before all the fire days. I didn't on the flow days, just because I mean, you work hard, but it's a little more mellow. I felt like if I would have had Energize in my system, I might have gotten a little jittery.
Yeah, you do.
And I used Recover too. Yeah.
I did use it, and there's a couple videos of me like falling over, losing my balance because I was just so hyped up. I'm like, oh, I can do this, and I would like push myself a little bit too far, and I'd literally like fall on my face. But it was okay. I learned. But yeah, I
Yeah,
used
and I use-
Shakeology, Energize, Recovery, Collagen. I know it's not really a booster, but I add that in there.
Yeah, so I used
Portion fix.
Energize and then Hydrate and Collagen during my workout, and then Shakeology after.
And then Brooke added in there, I did do Portion Fix.
That was one thing I wish I would have watched my nutrition more closely. We had spring break and I had the flu go through our house with the kids. So I was a couple weeks that I did not follow all that as well.
Had
But
the flu the
feel like I
first
would've-
week.
yeah.
It sucked.
The one thing I did want to mention that Renee added when we were texting earlier, just talking about how, Ashley, you said you bought Recovery. I don't know if it was because of Recover or just the way the program's designed, but Renee made the comment that those flow days are such a good way to push yourself, but she did not. And after she said that, I realized it as well. It didn't feel muscle fatigue as well
Mm-mm.
at all. I can't talk anymore. So like, as you're going weeks 3 and 4, I really tried to push more weight. And normally that would make me really sore. But because of those flow days, I never felt like I was pushing too far at all. But yeah, Renee, again, I called it, she had 4 inches total loss, 3 pounds lost. And then she talked about her arm muscle. And then she mentioned that she got to wear a small skirt with no Spanx, which hasn't happened in a long time. That was her exciting thing. And Ashley, you had some really good ones.
Yeah, 10 pounds and then 11.5 inches. Sorry, my baby's gonna start crying at me now. Yeah, but like I said, I really noticed it in my back and my legs. Definitely like my inner thighs. That's like the only spot that like really got like super sore on me, like leg wise. And I definitely noticed the inches in my legs too. Yes, there's Brooke. Say hi, Brooke. Yeah, that's Brooke. All right, I'll mute myself now so someone else can talk.
Yeah, I didn't lose much. I think partially my fault as far as I didn't follow my nutrition well enough, but I do think part of it is the muscle gain. I can definitely tell more muscle, and not only because I didn't even notice the arms and back thing, and Ashley was so kind to call me out on that and tell me that. But I just feel stronger. If you have anyone that ever talks about having lower back issues, I go to chiropractor weekly. Like I've always had a hard time with my lower back, and it didn't happen I get it a little bit like right before my period, but sorry, TMI, but that's the only time I had it all month, which is amazing. And I think that's part of you're growing, you get the big gains with the big muscles, but those flow days are so good at building all those small muscles that support you. A big thing right now, I feel like, is people keep talking about functional strength training. And I turned 40 this year and getting a little bit older. I feel like this is super good for people my age. And I mean, it's good for everybody, but for people that are a little bit older and maybe don't know what to do, that functional piece where like my hips are stronger. I feel like my back isn't as bad. And for me, it was those non-scale victories that I had, and mental and emotional gains. The flow days, I felt like I was walking out of a little free therapy session every time, because you slow down, so you do get a chance to kind of tune into your body and the prompts she gives you. were all wonderful. I thought it was funny, halfway through, my husband, and I don't talk a lot about Beachbody with him, he started to do MWALA. So I know that one talks about functional strength training as well a lot, but he's like, you just seem more chill lately. I'm like, I know, this program is fantastic. And for me to say I'm chill with 4 kids and, you know, flu and craziness, like that's big. So those are mine.
Yeah, so like Sarah said, like with the flow, you learn balance and just to be in tune with your body, which was very helpful. And then with the fire days, like we were saying, there's like each week, it's kind of like you're doing the similar movement, but with something added onto it, which made it more challenging. And with those results from the week before, it felt like that next week, even though there was that challenge in there, it was easier to get through that workout. And for me, I mean, yeah, my results aren't in there because, like I said, I got really sick 2 weeks in, and then all my kids did, and we're still fighting it today. My kids have a double ear infection for the second time within a month. So I wasn't able to really get down my results, but definitely just how much strength you build from this. And then the big thing for me was definitely the mental and emotional gains that you get from this program, because it's just so positive and so uplifting, and it makes you feel like you can conquer the world.
All right, I saw that Renee hopped on. Hi, Renee. I don't know if you're able to talk. I thought I saw you. If you're not able to talk, that's fine, but feel free to jump in at any point. And they've just kind of been sharing all the things Fire and Flow and their results, tips for new coaches who want to hit success starters. So.
Hi, everybody. My camera won't work for some reason.
That's totally fine. All right. Was this the last slide, I think?
Yeah, this part I could talk forever about, so I will keep it short. But I mean, basically, little things up there. You know, you see all these hybrid and mashup calendars floating around. This is like Beachbody design one for you. You have the fast days, the slow days, but the beautiful part about it is they flow together so well. You know, in a fire day, you know, she's talking about how, you know, did yesterday help you with the, you know, the flow day you did, or during the flow day, she's like, okay, we're making sure we really stretch these out for tomorrow when you do lower body with her. Or, so it's just, and that's where I feel like I made the biggest gain. You know, everyone talks about the power of the program, but I feel like this is 2 programs for the price of 1. And they encourage people who do one or the other to incorporate the other. I mean, I talked about that a little bit earlier. And the one thing I did want to mention about the flow days I really liked, and I don't know if she does this in her Barbell, because when I started this, I was super intimidated because I've done a lot of yoga in the past, but was not a big fan of bars. So I was like, okay, I'm not sure if I'm gonna like this. And then Jericho, I tried Morning Meltdown, and the sample workout for that one, the moves are ridiculous. I was like, I am not coordinated enough for this. I don't know if I can do this program, but this is like, if people are intimidated at all, it is not bad, but it's not yoga. So if people, I had people in the past that have told me, you know, I don't know how you do yoga. Like the thought of sitting still for that long, it sounds painful to me. Like it is not that at all. It just really makes you turn inward. And that functional piece I mentioned too earlier, that was a big thing for me. Yeah. Ooh, the one other thing, sorry, and then I'll be done, I promise. On the flow days, she made the comment in one of them that I thought was cool. They have 5 decades represented in the cast, teens, 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s. If anyone's done P90X, the 50-year-old guy is an original cast member from P90X, and he has 10 kids. So anyone that says they can't do this, be like, there's a 50-year-old guy on here that has 10 kids. No one has excuses. So said my piece.
Yeah, he kept me going. If I thought I couldn't
Yes,
do
he was
something,
my
I'm like,
person.
if
I was
Tony
like,
can do it, I
okay.
can do it.
Yes.
He's got 10
And it was
kids.
cool
I
to
can
watch
figure this
his,
out.
it was cool to watch his flexibility gains, like watching
Yes.
him on the flow days at the beginning, and it's like, oh, I can't move. And then by the end, he was grooving with the dancer next to him. So
Had something in my head and it's gone. So if you want to go first, while I try to figure out what I was going to say. Need to write things down.
Jenny, did you have anything to add?
Not much, just the whole, like they said, and like I said before, with the fire and flow, like you're having two different workout aspects of it which is like strength training and cardio, like with the fire days with Jericho. And then you have more just balanced. I'm not going to say easier because they definitely weren't easy. I mean, if anyone's done a workout with Elise, you know, but it's just more balanced and a little bit more like you feel like you're being able to recover a little bit. People just feel like they have preference of which one they like, but it's so great to just pair those two together and just do one day, and then the next day you realize like, okay, like it's still going to be challenging, but it's going to be more of like a restorative, more relaxed kind of workout than the impact.
Okay, I remember mine. I'm sorry, it's gonna be loud. He's not listening to me. The number one thing that when we first started is Jericho's fire finishers. They killed me and I could not do the whole minute. So she does, if any of you have done Jericho stuff, she does all her crazy, like high strung movements for a minute straight. But I could not do it. I could not do the whole dang thing. I had to modify at the end. But at the end of the program, I think it was week 3, I was able to complete a full fire finisher. And then starting round 2, I was able to do them without like wanting to just die. So that was a big win too. At first I hated them and I dreaded them, and now I'm like, this is awesome because I can actually do it because I pushed myself. I feel like there is a lot of impact. There's a lot of jumping in Jericho's. Not so much in the flow days. I don't feel like she really jumps a lot.
there's not impact, but the one thing that did remind me of asking about the impact with the flow days, I really like, because sometimes, you tell people that there's a modifier, but you can feel like, well, I'm not really doing it if I'm following the modifier. But I loved in flow days that most of the moves, she started with the modified version, like we all did one round of doing the modified. And then she brought everyone to what she called the middle level. And then she's like, and okay, now this one, I invite you to look, to the intensifier and try one round. And that was a big part of me too, that I liked, that she stressed a lot, like, don't be afraid to fall. Make sure you try, even if you fall right away. So that starting with the modified and then jumping up to moderate. So if you stayed at the bottom, it wasn't like you were doing something different from everybody. You just stayed there. Kind of that some people don't like having to do something different every time for modifying.
I had to do that with the ab workouts a lot. I did not realize how weak my core was. I put that in the chat, but I could not use the resistance bands at all when I did the ab ones. I think it was like maybe halfway through the last week, I finally picked up a yellow one. But yeah, I definitely lost a lot of ab strength from the babies. So that's like a big thing for me, trying to regain those back. But once I was able to use that yellow band again, in the second round so far, I have not had to modify by getting rid of my band. So you definitely can see your results within 4 weeks.
Renee, if you're still listening, what did you think of the impact on the fire days?
Hey, everybody. Sorry, I don't know why my camera is not working. It's probably because I'm in a different state. Who knows? But Yeah, I mean, so for me, at 55, I'm not a big jumper, with Jericho doing the high jumps and things like that. I tried one and I have it on video where I did go ahead and fall because Elise said, don't be afraid to fall. And okay. So I tried it and I fell. So I really appreciated the modifier in just that, those big high jumps, I'm just not all about them, and that's okay. I'm still gonna get the results.
Awesome. All right. Any questions for them? I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording, stop sharing so we can see each other's faces.